everyone, welcome to Crack Defense. This is the economic series going on, and in today's video we will be studying about tax structures in India. So to study this particular topic, first we have to see to the definition of tax and then we will study the structure which is followed in India. So going to the definition of tax, it is in this manner. Tax is the compulsory payment. So it's a payment by the citizens to the government. So it's a payment done by the citizens to the government to meet the public expenditure legally imposed by the government on the taxpayer. Okay, so now see, whatever facilities government provides us, there are subsidies, right? There are example PDS system, like giving food grains at very cost effective price, that is 3 rupees per kilo, 5 rupees per kilo to the people who lie below poverty line, that is BPL line, right? So now government is spending on these subsidies, government is providing schemes, so you need to invest in any of the implementation of schemes. So from where the government is bringing money? From the tax which is paid by the citizens. So it's an expenditure part on the citizens, and tax is a revenue for the government. Okay, so now no taxpayer can deny to pay taxes to the government. It is a legal binding on citizens to pay the taxes because you are using all of the facilities which are provided by the government. Example, government provides us roads, right? They gives us a proper irrigation facility, water sanitation facility and all, right? So all these facilities, government need money to provide them, right? So as we are using these facilities, we have to pay tax to the government. Now see, here we go to the structures of tax. So now first comes direct tax. Now what is direct tax? So now if a person, that is a citizen, he have to pay this tax directly to the government. Okay, there are no intermediaries. Okay, so it has to be paid by the person on whom it is levied. It cannot be shifted to other person. So now how it is shifted to the other person, you will learn this in indirect tax. Okay, so now direct tax, you have to keep this in mind that there is one citizen and the final government. So tax is paid by individual to the government directly. Okay, there are no intermediaries. So now there are types of direct tax, that is income tax. So it is tax levied directly on the income of the people by the central government. Now suppose person A's income is everything, his income, his property, land, everything, whatever property he is owning. So he have property of rupees 50,000 example. So his tax becomes 8,000. This is also a hypothetical situation, 8,000. So this 8,000 A has to pay to the government directly because it is his personal income. So he is not going to pay this tax to person B, then B to C, then C will pay this to the government on behalf of A. No, there are no intermediaries. Okay, so this is income tax. And there comes the corporate tax. Now corporate tax is tax which is levied on international or national domestic companies. You have heard joint stock companies, partnerships and all. So all these companies like Wipro, Infosys and all, so all these companies, they pay taxes to the government. Okay, so this is the direct tax. It is levied on the profit of the companies or corporations. It is the largest source of revenue of the government, covering about 18% of the total revenue. This is the largest source of revenue for the government. Okay, so these two are the direct tax. Then we'll see next type of direct tax. It is gift tax. The tax is imposed by the central government on all donations and gifts over and above the prescribed limits to the family members. However, donation given by the charitable institutions and companies is not covered under gift tax. This tax is basically imposed to check the evasion of estate duty and wealth tax. Now see what happens. Example, this is person A and this is person B. They both are the friends. Okay, so person A gives a gift of rupees 1 lakh. Example, 1 lakh to person B. So now this person is right now the owner of this 1 lakh, right? So this person B has to pay this tax, or A has to pay this tax directly to the government. Okay, so this is called as gift tax because it's a high amount. So there can be a prescribed limits that you can give gift up to 50,000 only. So above 50,000, this is 1 lakh, then you have to pay tax. So there are prescribed limits. But see, here the donations given by the charitable institutions and the companies is not covered. So अगर इस B को अगर कोई charitable trust है, now example this A is me and B is my friend, और मैं एक charitable trust भी चलाती हूँ और मुझे टैक्स की चोरी करनी है, ओके, आई डोंट वांट टू पे टैक्स, तो मैं इस ए को बी को बोलूंगी कि मैं तुम्हें 1 लाख रुपीज ट्रांसफर करती हूँ मेरे चैरिटेबल अकाउंट से. तो एज पर द नॉर्म्स अगर तुम चैरिटेबल इंस्टीट्यूशन से गिफ्ट देते हो, डोनेशंस देते हो, तो तुम्हें टैक्स नहीं पे करना है. सो दिस इज हाउ आई एम प्रोटेक्टिंग माई सेल्फ अगेंस्ट पेइंग टैक्स. सो दिस इज द वे पीपल डू इट. But main thing is that charitable institutions and companies are not covered under this gift tax. Okay, so now शायद से तुमने अगर तुम लोगों ने वो मूवी देखी है शोशांक रिडम्पशन, तो शोशांक रिडम्पशन में वो जो एंडी होता है, जो मेन कैरेक्टर है, he is into the jail and one of that inspector, he is worried about that his he will be getting some amount from his inheritance, right? That amount is above 50,000. So he says to his colleague that it's of no use because half of the money will go to pay tax. So then Andy, he's actually a professional businessman, sorry, finance manager, banker, right? So he suggests that inspector that you give this amount as a gift to your wife because their government, which was the film was of USA, so their government actually does not cover, similarly they does not cover xyz amount taxable under gift tax. So he suggests that you can give this amount to as a gift to your wife. Okay, you should see the movie, that is Shashank Redemption. It's whole idea is based on hope. Okay, so now next is wealth tax. It's also a form of direct tax. This tax is levied on the net worth of the individuals. Hindu undivided family, joint stock companies. It is a minor source of revenue to the government, primarily imposed to reduce concentration of wealth in the society. Now, this is actually a wealth tax. Don't we should not confuse it with corporate tax. Okay, it's a wealth tax, income tax, and corporation tax. These three are different types of tax. So just because that there should not be concentration of wealth in societies, so government levies wealth tax on major joint stock companies and Hindu undivided families. Next comes interest rate. Now this tax is imposed on the interest income of the commercial banks on their gross loans and advances. It is not in force in India. Now what happens, there are commercial banks, right? So they give loans to customers. So whatever interest customers pay on the loans, so on that interest government charges tax to the commercial banks, but it is not enforced in India. Okay, so you can come across this question in your future, that dash types of tax, direct tax is not enforced in India. So now we come to the indirect tax, that is tax which have their primary burden or impact on one person, but the person succeeds in shifting his burden on to others. Now example is GST. So okay, so now GST is like if A is buying any good as a wholesaler, so he's paying the tax and he's recovering that tax while he is selling same goods to the retailer. Okay, and retailer covers that tax from the customers. Okay, so this is how there are intermediaries in between while paying the tax. So now GST, when it was introduced, other indirect taxes were abolished. So you should be aware of those taxes, that is excise duty, custom duty, sales tax, service tax, value added tax, passenger tax, entertainment tax, electricity duty, motor vehicle tax. So all these tax are void under GST. Okay, so here we come to the end of our tax structure in India. Hope so everything is clear to you. If you have any doubts, you can all the time visit to our website. The link is there in the description box. So thank you so much and have a good day.